What's up, lads and ladies? My name is Ryan, aka the Goose. In this installation, so it's my first one, wanted to take a moment to introduce myself as well as expectations for the channel, share a bit about why I'm making this channel, what I hope to do, a bit about myself again, and yeah, I guess without any further ado, let's just go ahead and dive on into it. So the Goose, that is a name that I've had literally since birth. My dad has called me the Goose ever since I came out of the womb, like out of the birth canal and into this world. Yeah, I don't know exactly why. He doesn't know exactly why. The best reason that he's given me, though, is that I sounded like one. And with that, yeah, he just started calling me the Goose. My brother is Slick Dog, by the way, and my sister, my brother and I dubbed her Squirrel Bait. So those are our childhood nicknames, and they've stuck with us our whole life. It's quite fun, I would say. But yeah, so a bit about me, and why I'm making the channel, basically all of it all at once, because that's probably how it'll come out anyways. But so I like to dive deep, I like to learn about things, and I'm extremely passionate about investing, about plants, about nature, getting ahead, you know, boosting oneself, living my best life and helping other people live their best life. And growing up, I always had like a deeper sense of things. I was always labeled an old soul, wise beyond my years, so on and so forth, and quite intelligent at that. Not trying to boast or come across as arrogant or egotistical, and I'll put that out because yeah, I do have like a higher IQ. Last time I got it tested, it was like 145, but being in that higher bracket, so to speak, came with challenges. I just don't really relate to people, and I was always like perceived as more serious than I meant to. And it's just because I don't really know how to joke. You know, I try to, but it doesn't always land, and I can come across as extremely dry. But with my upbringing, like I always wanted to help people out, and I always again felt and was told that I had like a deeper innate understanding of things. And so my life, like all the ups, downs, and all arounds, basically I've gotten to overcome like ego, things like that. And of course, like it's still like you do that every day, you die to yourself every day, so to speak. But I've gone through some shit, pardon me, and learned a bit more about what I was saying then, and yeah, more reinforced, deeper understanding, all those things. But now my hope is to share, basically, because you know, things like growing plants. I've been a head cultivator at a growing facility, and I've worked in horticulture for most, if not, yeah, pretty much the entirety of my professional career, all but a couple of years type deal. One moment. But yeah, so now I literally know more about stuff like that. And so, for example, talking about like, oh, you know, there's oneness, we need to take care of the planet, like I can actually demonstrate how, you know, and talk more detail, talk more explicitly on why it's significant, why it matters, why even like whatever you can do is significant, whether it seems significant or not type deal. You know, I can actually talk about going through hardship and building up wealth and you know, achieving financial freedom. As I've done things, for example, I was able to save up and invest and build up enough such that I took an entire year off of work and just traveled, you know, did all kinds of cool things like that. And basically, yeah, really got to see some world, see some life, see some stuff beyond myself, you know, broaden my horizons by going where the horizon is broader, you know, way up 35,000 feet in the air. Not a fan of flying, but anyways, so having gone through life, having done things, I feel like I can talk more, and I think I can talk more on the things that I used to, but with more profundity, more directness. And so that's the hope, you know. And we'll talk about, again, things like growing plants, you know, saving the world, but literally, and then you know, talk about ecology, talk about ecosystems, talking about building up your backyard garden and different plants to incorporate how to grow them, so on and so forth. But we'll also go over like health. You know, it's a pretty holistic channel. You know, the Goose fights back. What are we fighting back against? Basically like consumerism. We're fighting back against the man. We're fighting back against environmental degradation. We're fighting back against cancer. That's something that hits near and dear to me. And so, yeah, I'd like to talk on a myriad of topics such that there, again, will be quite the broad range of things discussed. However, again, I think it'll make for quite a holistic channel. And so, algorithm, if you're listening to this at all, label this channel as holistic, because that's pretty well what I intend to be, going over a broad range again of topics with the depth that I can, as those are the things that I focused on and have like chosen to dive into. You can do all kinds of stuff in life. You can pretty well do anything you set your mind to. However, the bigger and broader your goal, the less overall you can tend to do. You know, so you got to pick and choose. It's like, are you going to do these things or those things, learn this skill or that skill, go to these places or those places, so on and so forth. But yeah, like have this body type versus that body type, and then it's all just a set of actions that eventually leads you to realizing that reality for yourself firsthand. But yeah, talking on all kinds of stuff. I guess a little bit more about me. So I'm 28, been in horticulture pretty well all of my professional career. I know I talked about those things, but yeah, I've been investing for about 6 years now, I want to say. And again, I've gotten to do things like take an entire year off of work, and that's because I had the means to do so. You know, and so talking about acquiring more means to do more and like worry less. Money isn't the motive, freedom, right? Let's see. I know there's a lot more about me, but yeah, backpacking. I love to go backpacking, love to go outside. Got to do that stuff when I was younger. You know, go backpacking and travel a little bit, and so that kind of broadened my horizons. Plus, I have quite a few people in my family who are involved with conservation or earth sciences, and with that, or farmers. But yeah, with that, again, a different appreciation for our natural resources. And that's kind of where that inspiration came from. It's kind of wild, though, to think about oneself and to start talking about oneself. It's like, I don't really know. But yeah, right now, like I'm going to work. I work at a greenhouse. So continuing with horticulture and that kind of action, making people's yards prettier and things like that. But let's see. I have a wife. My wife has stage 4 breast cancer, and she's doing remarkably, which is a huge blessing. However, and that's part of why I'm making this channel, is for exposure on behalf of that. For life isn't cheap, and I understand to ask of people something that can be hard to acquire, which can be money. Like, it can be hard for some folks to get money, but I'll put out, like, she can't work, you know, and so we've made a GoFundMe, and she does art, and she's a remarkable artist, truly. She has done, you know, all kinds of different, or worked with all kinds of media. Her favorite, I think, are ballpoint colored pencils and watercolors. But yeah, she's done all kinds of wonderful, created all kinds of wonderful artworks rather, and then with that has started to create merchandise. And so that's a couple of ways in which we're trying to generate extra funds for basically life, keeping her up, yeah, keeping us indoors, paying off medical bills, and yeah, trying to build up and become work optional essentially as soon as possible. So I'm creating this YouTube channel, and I'm hoping that the, you know, positive, or the experience is good for y'all. Hoping that you guys subscribe, watch more videos, comment, interact, mingle, share your story, so on and so forth. I will say I'll put my official links in the description, and I will never reach out to anybody directly. So don't respond to it if it's me reaching out to you, because it isn't me. You know, it'd be somebody impersonating me. But yeah, I'll put my stuff in the description. That's the official GoFundMe. I'll put her Etsy page too, and probably Instagram as well. And so any and all the support toward that is greatly appreciated. Yeah, and then just checking out the vids, watching it, you know, whether you want to see stuff about fighting cancer, because that's something unfortunately we know about firsthand, you know, doing your best in lieu of that kind of stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about building up gardens and growing food and flowers, and, you know, talking about motivation in regards to investing. I got my equipment for my side hustle in the back there, for example, and I'm going to my day today, right now, yeah, but we'll go over health, wealth, the earth, you know, probably some psychology, philosophy, things like that. And there's not necessarily a specific direction other than holistic. So that's what I would label this project as. Yeah, thank you for checking out this installation. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can add. Family man, kind of have, I don't know if I should say this because it's taboo in today's day and age, but I aim to be wholesome. I aim to be a good character, and I hope that you guys come to see that in me. I can tell you how I am, but it's up to you to see that as well. But yeah, I have like traditional values, and I guess to what extent, I don't know. I don't know how to describe that, but it's not oppressive by any means. I believe in like self-empowerment. I believe in the power of a bunch of individuals, you know, the collective. I believe in our ability to shape and transform our way of living in society as a whole. Yeah, I guess I'll share some more stories. I'll think on what would be worth sharing as well. But I guess too, if there's anything in particular you want to hear about, yeah, why I might have some of the views that I do, and I guess a little bit more in terms of intimate details or what have you. You know, the stuff that hits close to home. But yeah, I really can't think of anything else. So thank you for listening to me babble and introduce this channel. I hope you guys choose to check out the links below. Hope you choose to stick around and watch some more of these videos. And I aim to bring good value to you, tremendous value, or rather on the topics that I've listed so far. But we'll see what we all get into. Again, thanks for stopping by, and until next time, peace.